Cool. For live. It actually, I'll edit it down. But what it does with the Google Hangout, it like simulcasts it live through Google, and then once it's over, it like uploads itself to YouTube.
Seriously, I want to learn how to do that stuff.
So do I.
Well, you're getting there.
Well, I'm getting there. So let's make sure that it's going. It is definitely on there. All right.
Because we'd like to start doing more of that stuff here.
Yeah, and I'm trying to like integrate more technology into my operation as well. So let's just get started.
All right.
Hi, welcome everybody. My name is Logan Murray, Program Manager at Drexel University, Sacramento in our School of Education. And today I am with Jeff Weston, who is a Drexel University, Sacramento student in our EDD program, in our doctoral program offered through the School of Education. And I'm also visiting Jeff here today at his work. Here at Sacramento State College, CSU Sacramento, also my alma mater. And Jeff is the director for the Veterans Success Center. And so today I'm just spending just a few minutes with Jeff to talk a little bit about his experiences here at Sac State, his experience in being a Drexel University student and sort of how those things are playing out for him in the last couple of years. So I guess just to start, Jeff has been involved in the Veterans Center for I guess a few years now. The center has experienced a lot of growth over the last couple of years, and I think that's a good place to start as any. So Jeff, just to start us out, can you talk a little bit about the history of the Veterans Success Center, where you started, where you're at today, and what's happened in between?
Sure. Our center started, I served in the Air Force from 1999 to 2003, and shortly after getting out, I finished my undergraduate here at Sac State. Started shortly after as the Veteran Certifying Official, certifying benefits within our registrar's office for students using the GI Bill. There's no proactive services to veterans, no interaction with veterans, no help with transitional issues, no aid of any kind. So from that, a few short years later, it seems to have gone by pretty quickly. We now have full-fledged Veteran Success Center with multiple computers for students to use, space to hang out, space to build camaraderie, multiple staff. I serve now as director of the program, and I also have a veteran benefit advisor, a certifying official, and a veteran-specific admissions counselor.
Right.
So we've built what I consider to be a top-notch program, the second largest in terms of numbers in the entire CSU 23 campus system. So it's a program that's we've gone from 0 to 150 in a short amount of time.
So when I was doing I guess the background research for this conversation and in our I guess more casual conversation earlier today, one of the things I'm struck by is, how you had started in basically a windowless cubicle with no real staff to speak of in the registrar's office to a full-fledged Veterans Resource Center in almost, a year and a half. So that rate of change came quickly. So maybe just walk us through some of this, how you got from those humble beginnings to where you're at now. Sure. What were the challenges?
Sure. The key to, while we moved at an extremely fast pace,
right,
we knew 6 months before that what our plan was. So we put our strategic plan in place. So we knew once the ball got rolling, it was going to go at that pace. So we were ready for it. So The key takeaway was planning ahead,
Mhm.
having a solid strategic plan in place, having multiple scenarios depending on knowing you're going to go talk to somebody to maybe do an ask for maybe specific equipment or a specific donation, knowing that there could be multiple outcomes. We thought this through beforehand. So we went in before we let the landslide start, before we let the river start flowing too quickly. We did our homework. And what I did was, and I think that the number one success that we've had is we built a cadre of students that are believe in what we're trying to create here on campus.
Why, and you come back to that point about, starting with, I guess, getting the buy-in of the students and getting the students really involved.
Mhm.
Why in this case, I guess specifically, why was that so important as like the primary building block to the next steps?
Well, students, student souls, they serve multiple purposes. One, they're our stakeholders. So we learn the needs of our center through our students. When we're talking to a potential donor or we're talking to a potential dean or somebody that we need help from, the story of that student that resonates with the particular person that we're talking to.
Right.
So they're integral in the discussion. They're who we're doing this for. And so because of that, we know that has to be the face of what we're doing. They're our outcome. Our outcome's their success.
Right.
So we're now a few years into it where, I have students that were fresh-faced freshmen that are now sitting for the bar and getting internships with, the district attorney's office.
Sure.
And we can show that progress, and with that, our program continues to grow.
Now, there was a couple other, I guess, points that I identified as being sort of pivotal in this story. One of them was the partnerships that you developed here internally at Sac State, specifically with the LGBTQ community, the LGBT center here on campus. Tell us a little bit about how that partnership developed, how it continues to develop, and why it was so important in the beginning.
So that was pivotal. Higher ed, it's about diversity. Higher ed, we promote diversity. Our mission statement, you'd be hard pressed to find a mission statement at Sac State that doesn't promote diversity. What we wanted to showcase is, as veterans, we're part of that diversity discussion.
Mm-hmm.
We have veterans that are part of the LGBT community.
Sure.
So we wanted to seek out partnerships that other institutions or just people might not have thought of. People might not have thought there was a lot of common ground between a veteran center and an LGBT center. But the reality of it is both populations, they want to graduate, they want to find a good job. There's more similarities than differences. So by building those partnerships, one, you're pulling resources, and two, you're strengthening both programs because you're creating visibility on the campus, and you're becoming a broader part of the diversity discussion.
Now, when we talk about bringing in this population of students, veterans, into this discussion about diversity, perhaps one of the challenges that you had was around what the perceptions are from the faculty body, from staff, and the students here on campus, from the overall community about what it is that veterans are all about, and sort of getting out and teaching the community and maybe challenging some of those stereotypes. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We look at it from two lenses. We see a lot of campuses and organizations that go from a deficit model, where they talk about what challenges veterans bring to campus. They might have post-traumatic stress. They've seen war. They've seen combat? Are they really the students that we're trying to attract? What we decided to do is we go from a success model. So we tell the students up front that you did, just by the nature of your service and you honorably getting through your service, we know you can make it through a tough circumstance. If you can make it through that, we know you can make it through Sac State.
Mm-hmm.
And we preach that message. And by that builds, our students want to hear that. And we back that up by showing data that shows those numbers. Our veterans do in fact graduate at higher rates than our non-veteran population here on campus. They do have higher retention rates. And so we do faculty and staff training to dispel some of those myths.
Now, in talking a little bit more about this, I guess the success model rather than versus the deficit model, one of the things that we had talked about is that by bringing those students in already up on that, above that threshold of, we believe that you are prepared to succeed academically and so forth, I guess it allows you to take those students in other directions and perhaps elevate their expectations even more. So, I guess from that standpoint, what are your expectations of the students? What journey are you trying to bring them through with this program?
So the one thing we're all going to have in common is we're going to be Sac State alma mater. And one thing we were all taught in the military is to leave what you start better than finish it better than when you started.
Right.
So our expectation of our students is to leave Sac State a better, more veteran-friendly place than when you started. So our expectation is we know you're going to be successful academically.
Mm-hmm.
We have the expectation that you're going to go out and you're going to partner with the LGBT Center, or you're going to partner with the Multicultural Center, or you're going to put on events, or you're going to mentor other vets, or you're going to do something that enriches the campus culture.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's interacting with non-vets. We do a lot of programming for dependents. Maybe that's helping the family of a vet. But we set that expectation of we're a family. We have an alumni chapter to join when we're finished with this journey.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're trying to do is recreate the camaraderie that we experienced while we were in the service.
Right. Has this been successful?
Yes, extremely. Beyond, I had pretty high expectations going into this, and I can truthfully say it's exceeded where I thought we would be now, and I'm extremely just very excited about the future, because I know we still have a lot we can do and a lot of stuff in the works that I know we're going to accomplish, because we've proven that we can set benchmarks and we can meet them. So this program, this center has met a number of, I think, very aggressive goals in a very short amount of time. Where else can you take this? I mean, what's next for the Veteran Success Center? Well, we're looking to do more official, what we call the Veterans Leadership Initiative, an official mentoring program, to where students come out of it through different social work courses. They come out of it better prepared to go into careers working with veterans, or veterans with disabilities, working with the VA. So we're looking at really partnering with the academic side. We already teach several social work courses. We want to increase our academic presence on campus. So that's one direction. And that's where I'm letting the students set the tone. Like we were talking about earlier, our student group meets. They debrief me once a month. They're telling me where we're going to go, and we're building that. So we know we want to have more of an academic presence. and beyond that, we're still working through that. But we have we think sky's the limit. So
Now, it seems to me, building in an academic presence is a tremendous challenge, perhaps your biggest one yet, because it really requires getting the absolute confidence and buy-in of the faculty.
correct.
What's the plan there? What have you done so far to begin to make inroads? What is the plan moving forward?
That's been one area that I've been pleasantly surprised. I think we have great faculty on this campus, and we already have 6 or 7 very supportive faculty members that just by the nature of in this economic time to have where we're teaching 2 or 3 separate veteran specific courses is a testament to some of the academic senate and the faculty's commitment to us.
Right.
But we're approaching it the same way we did building the center. We get student ambassadors to talk to their professors and talk to other professors, and we're building a coalition of faculty that want to be part of this vision. And there's a couple divisions that have already bought into. We have some big things coming with a couple of departments, and it's not a secret recipe. You go out and you talk to the folks that will listen, and you tell your story.
Yeah.
Some will be more receptive than others, and those that are receptive, you be transparent and genuine, and you build that coalition just like you did when you're trying to build our center.
Sure. Now, I want to transition a little bit from the work that you're doing with the center to your work as I guess a student. You've been with Drexel University, Sacramento for I guess about a year now in our doctoral program. You're in cohort 6. Can you tell us, well, first of all, how the program is beginning to equip you to meet some of these challenges in your professional life?
Yeah, this is the first. I went through my undergrad. I went through my graduate program. This is the first program that I really feel on a daily basis that things I'm learning in class, I'm actually applying to my professional life. Whether it be my writing's vastly improved. That's one given. But just the language, it's helped me become more comfortable with faculty. When you're in a room full of EDDs and PhDs, you don't feel quite part of that club yet.
Right.
And so with every class and with every day that passes, you feel like you're becoming part of that membership.
Right. Yeah.
So it's built my confidence, and so it's helped me apply theories that I hadn't thought of or knew about that have helped. That's helping us as we build our vision towards our future goals for the center. So from day one, it's had practical implications.
Now you're moving into, I guess, transitioning into more of the research phase of the program.
Yeah.
Have you given much thought about what it is that you're going to study for or research in the dissertation phase?
Yes. I want to. My moving target right now is something along the line of a new generation of heroes, a study of post 9/11 veterans and their perception of college readiness.
Right.
And the reason I want to go with that topic is because I feel a lot of campuses tell student vets what services they need, but not enough for asking them. And so I want to do a qualitative study asking veterans themselves what are your needs
Mhm.
when you're transitioning out of the military and entering higher education.
What is unique about this population of students that what's different about the veteran population than just normal I guess a 2-year transfer student?
Sure. Well, the first thing that's obvious is 4 years of military service changes you. It's not necessarily for the better. It's not necessarily for the worse. But from basic training on, you're becoming a different person.
Mm-hmm.
You're facing life experiences that very few other people on campus are going to experience.
Mm-hmm.
There's an all-volunteer force. I think it's about 1% of the population's a veteran. So you're gonna leave this existence where, and many of our folks have been to Iraq or Afghanistan once, if not multiple times, but you're leaving this existence. It's very regimented, very tight-knit, a close group, to all of a sudden you're in a college atmosphere, which is much more lofty, and folks tend to be younger, and sororities and fraternities and all the stuff you don't really relate to as a college student.
Right.
So you have this unique transition where for 4, 8, 20 years, however long you're in, you're taught how to survive, and you're taught a certain set of skills that all of a sudden in the civilian world, that might not be okay anymore. And so a center like this helps ease that transition.
Mm-hmm.
It helps ease you from being a soldier or an airman or, in one of the branches of the service to reacclimating into the civilian world.
Right. And one of the things that you had mentioned earlier today is that you have a lot of veterans just right out here in the lobby. They come here and spend a lot of time with one another. I guess sharing their experiences and just beginning relationships and so forth.
Yeah.
So this is sort of I guess for lack of a better term, a safe place for them to be.
This is kind of their fraternity or sorority.
Right.
This is their, veterans don't feel unsafe on campus. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a safe spot, but it's a spot where they have a small, so one place on campus, they have a small area that really recreates that camaraderie that we miss. Mm-hmm. I've been out since 2003, and I still miss that camaraderie that I had while I was in the service. Mm-hmm. So it's a place, most of the time they're not talking about veteran stuff out there. They're talking about movies, or they're talking about class. Mm-hmm. But they know each other, and they get each other, and they have shared experiences. They know the same acronyms. So it's that transition place. It's that decompression that they need. We have students that get back from deployment on Friday and start school on Monday.
Wow. Yeah.
This is their decompression.
Sure.
And when they come in here, they know that they can talk about those experiences openly, and it's very therapeutic. So that's why it's so important.
Makes a lot of sense. Now, going back to your life as a doctoral student, I know that in addition to running the center, you have your life as an academic, as a student, and also a family life. Mm-hmm. What are you doing to manage all these things? I mean, how are you keeping all those balls in the air?
So what I found is congruency. I try not to recreate the will. I work with my passion's veterans. Mm-hmm. So I was naturally drawn, when I had the ability in class to write on a topic of my choice.
Yes.
I write it on veterans, because that's what I relate to. That's what I tend to work through the fastest. And that's allowed me to give me some overlap here to where some of the work that I'm doing here overlaps with some of the assignments that I'm doing.
Sure.
And I've had to, make some key sacrifices. I have a very supportive family. Going into this wasn't a decision that I just made You know, my wife made it, my 16-year-old made it, and my 9-year-old made it.
Yeah.
And they know, like this evening, they know they plan to go out to dinner and go to the movies because they know that I have some things that I have to finish
Sure.
for our executive weekend. So it's finding that balance. It's being transparent with my boss that, hey, there's going to be times that I need to do this, and I need you to be supportive. So it's been small life changes,
Right.
but it's also been regimented. I try to do a little bit every day, and I stick to that. And I've taken small steps. I spoke to this in class a few sessions ago, but I've already wrote the first page of the front cover of my dissertation, the page that gets signed off and kept up by my computer. So I keep the eye on the final prize.
Right.
That's what I'm going after. So I just stay motivated, and I know every semester I'm amazed that we're over a year in. So
It has. I do remember when your cohorts came in, fresh-faced at at the orientation, and it really does seem like last week or something. So it's amazing how quickly time flies by.
and each class you get a little bit better at organizing your time.
Right.
And I found since I've been able to do that, it's been life-changing for sure, but it hasn't been insurmountably life-changing.
So it's manageable.
It's manageable, and like the research elements, I love, and I actually I include my family in that. I've had my wife subscribes to the Chronicle of Higher Ed and some of the different things, and she points articles to me, and she has access to some different libraries to where we've really made this a family program. And when you have that support, I've never had a fear of failing. So, and there's been a few times where Dr. Geller and Dr. Willis have been great to where, because I've had some personal issues that have cropped up, and this program's actually been therapeutic for that also.
Yeah, I think the cohort model really sort of lends itself to that sort of built-in support network. To where every class you're going into isn't a whole new set of faces. So as you're going through the program with a set group of people, those relationships tend to grow. The support system grows stronger, and so forth.
That's helpful, and you find out through you're feeling a certain way. A couple texts later, you realize, oh, we're all feeling that way.
Yeah,
we're all feeling overwhelmed right now. Or none of us understand this assignment, or whatever it might be. Everybody's going through the same process. So the cohort model's been, I enjoy it. And the other thing I would say is just, you have to just make it an extension of your life. To me, it's just an extension of my job. I have my 9 to 5, and then I have my evening job.
Right.
And I look at I'm in a fortunate position where my second job is becoming, having an EDD. There's people all around this country working 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet. So if they can do that, I can certainly do this.
That's correct. Listen, Jeff, I really appreciate your time, and thanks for inviting us over to Sac State and spending the afternoon with you.
Cool.
It's been great.
Yeah, enjoyed it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Cool.
All right,
Thanks.
right on.